let's talk about the membership program that you have the opportunity to sign up for, which is called the Crossroads Club at members.jimmy@thecrossroads.com. This is the exclusive membership program of Jimmy at the Crossroads. Great opportunities, multiple tiers at different levels to get in with different perks of varying kinds. For example, the engraved Jimmy at the Crossroads harmonica with your name on it. Chocolate harmonicas that are just delicious. Also, let's see. Wine tumblers, mugs, other goodies, plus exclusive access with discounts to webinars and courses that we'll be doing online, and so much more. Members.jimmy@thecrossroads.com. Log in, sign up today, log on and sign up today, and we hope you'll be a part of this. Join us right at the Crossroads. It's going to be fun. Also, finally, shop.jimmy@thecrossroads.com, your place to go to buy a whole slew of different fun products, including the What Are the 9 Most Terrifying Words in the English Language t-shirt, which looks pretty darn cool. You know what I need to do? I need to get Matoush some images of these shirts and so forth so you can see them for yourself. We'll go ahead and we'll do that coming up in the following days. All right, welcome back to Jimmy at the Crossroads. Making sense out of nonsense, bringing engaging, intelligent talk, saying style in partnership with the Washington Examiner. Log on, WashingtonExaminer.com. It's been a little while since we've had our producer extraordinaire, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Matoush Magic himself, Nathan Matoush, on the show. And with all the news about sports returning, I thought we'd bring the return of Nathan Matoush onto the show. Nathan, how the heck are you, my friend?
Jimmy, I'm doing good. It's a pleasure to be back, and sports is in full swing, my friend. It is in full swing. I'm also looking forward to getting myself a Sang-style t-shirt or Jimmy at the Crossroads t-shirt at members.jimmy@thecrossroads.com.
Well said, my friend. You are learning how to weave those things in. So let me say this, by the way. We may do at some point in the near future a Matoush Magic t-shirt. That's what I need. I need to know if other people want it. Nathan wants one. We just might have to offer that at some point. So let me know if you'd get a Matoush Magic t-shirt. All right. So you must be.
Can't wait.
You must be excited about not the Matoush Magic t-shirt that's still up in the air, but the sports returning, Nathan.
Oh, yeah. Very excited. And yesterday it was official. We are going to have Major League Baseball as the owners approved a deal that would potentially bring back Major League Baseball with a 60-game season. Training camp would begin, or spring training, I guess you'd call it summer training now, would begin July 1st. Opening day, July 23rd. So definitely looking forward to that. Along with the other sports, NHL, that's coming back at the end of July. Colorado Avalanche are reporting to training camp on July 10th. And then also the NBA, they're going to have a 22-team playoff returning towards the end of July as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. I mean, sports is back in full swing. We got all the 4 major ones back: Major League Baseball, NHL, NFL they're still set to resume on schedule. Regular season beginning September 10th. Right now we got NASCAR and UFC. So, Jimmy Sengenberger, it's looking like sports is a go, and it's going to be like Christmas Day when these things come back.
Now, what about
3 months without sports?
Crowds in the stands? Is that going to be allowed? Is that something they're holding off on? Do you know?
So crowds in the stands, that's something they're holding off on definitely as the season starts. Now, maybe potentially later on in the seasons, maybe they'll have fans at certain capacities. You know, maybe every other seat will be filled. I'm hearing for the Major League Baseball that immediate family members possibly might be able to attend the games, but as far as full swing fans, that's going to be a while, at least until we could get more testing done.
How about holograms in the audience with a soundtrack?
Holograms in the audience, we could probably make it happen possibly with the Matoush Magic, but I don't know, man. That seems to be way out there.
That would be expensive. That could be done, but it would be expensive. Okay, here's what you do. Tape green screen all around the stadiums and go from there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be creative here. I want crowds in the camera shots when I'm watching these games.
Yeah, and I'm with you.
Even
as
if they're
well.
faked. Even if they're fake crowds.
Well, there's already stadiums, like, for example, the Atlanta Falcons Stadium. They put in crowd noise. They put in crowd noise to boost up their volume of the fans. So, hey, if they could do that, why not have green screens and holograms of people?
Now, you have an image. You got pick 4. That is the NHL lineup here.
Yes.
Go ahead. Show us what's going on here for the playoffs.
So
That's what they're going to structure it as, playoffs?
This is the 2014 playoff for the National Hockey League. Now, the National Hockey League is going to be set to return at the end of July. As we said, the Avs are going to report to training on July 10th. But this is how it's going to be laid out, and it's literally like March Madness-style Stanley Cup playoffs. And I'm really looking forward to this. You got these – well, each conference, first of all, the top 4 teams are going to get a bye, including our boys in the blue and burgundy, the Colorado Avalanche. So they'll get a bye.
Remember, folks, we're broadcasting from here in Colorado.
That's right. And that's why we got to lay out the Colorado Avalanche. So they'll get a bye, and then all these other teams are going to have kind of a play-in series. So all these other guys, like, for example, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Blue Jackets, the Edmonton Oilers, the Chicago Blackhawks, they'll play 5-game series at first. And then after those 5-game series, it will be set 16 teams for the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm looking forward to this. This is awesome.
So is it all going to be just structured as in a playoff format, and that's it?
Yeah, it's pretty much just full-on Stanley Cup playoffs. The only thing is they added in those extra series. So the first round will be a best-of-5 series, and then after that they'll have the 16 teams, and they'll do the regular Stanley Cup playoffs that we're used to.
Okay.
With
so what do you think about
16
that,
teams.
setting it up as playoffs? I mean, I guess if you have to shorten the seasons, it does make sense to go that sort of route.
Yeah, I think as well. I think this is a good plan for the NHL. It gives teams all a chance. It's kind of a rebirth of the season. It gives teams like the Chicago Blackhawks and Montreal Canadiens, who were fighting for those playoff spots before the season ended back in mid-March. It gives them all a chance, and quite frankly, 2014 Stanley Cup playoff, this is awesome.
What's so interesting is that you don't have audiences in the stands, so that cuts revenue to the facilities, of course. That cuts revenue to the teams. It's not going to be as profitable, although the ad revenue on TV will certainly be more pronounced than it has been of late, certainly for sporting events. But the thing is that when you're looking at the economy and the economic impact of sports, it's such a significant part of the American economy and way of life that this is going to take some adjusting to, although I think people will at least be relieved about being able to watch sports again, even from just the comfort of their own home. But in terms of the economic impact, it's going to be far more subdued. And that's going to be interesting. Remember Rick French, owner of the Daytona Tortugas baseball team, which is the minor league team affiliated with the Cincinnati Reds. He was on this show a couple of months ago, and he said, I'm not so sure that the MLB will come back because, or at least not for a while, particularly because it's just not something that you can do easily when it comes to the financial side of the equation.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at sports, it's not just watching sports that contributes to the fans. It's going to the stadiums. It's having the concession stand. I mean, think about how big concession stands impact the economy of sports. So I could definitely see what he's saying. I mean, all this is just from the fan perspective. It's going to help the fans. It's going to bring back sports. But economically, the challenges, I think, are still there for sports. Literally they got the broadcasting companies like Fox Sports, CBS.
Is it exclusive contracts, by the way? So like the chart that you showed was Fox Sports. Are they basically Fox Sports gets a sport and ESPN gets a sport and the regular TVs? Is that kind of how they're doing some of this?
Yeah, so Fox Sports typically gets the NFL. They get NASCAR. Those are probably their two big ones. CBS, it's NFL and golf. ESPN
So
is
it'll still
typically
say the
with
same.
with the NBA. Yeah, it's going to be the same for the most part. However, I have heard that possibly ESPN might get a slate of games for the National Hockey League. I'm not positive for that, but they might switch it around a bit. But the bottom line, I think, is these broadcasting industries are going to be carrying the sports economically because that's all they have, because there's no concessions, there's no fans, there's no ticket sales. So I can see what you mean on the economic.
Yeah, although your point about fans is so important because our society needs sports to return so we can have something that people can just take a load off and have some fun. Although it will be interesting to see how protest movements may get into sports. Certainly when the NFL comes back, there will be kneeling during the national anthem, but you may see the politicization of a variety of these sports, which I'm not looking forward to that. Set aside the merits of the case, especially after we've been dealing with such tension and so many issues going on. In watching sports, I would like all of us to be able to just take a load off and relax and enjoy it without having any political dynamics or social dynamics come into play, even if someone can make the case that it is a worthwhile cause.
Yeah, and well said. And I mean, with bringing politics into sports, I just don't agree with that. Sports is a time where we can put our differences aside. We can come together. We can watch the sporting events and be with family, be with friends, without having those political differences, without being divided. Sports does not divide us. Sports brings us together.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that, Nathan. Sometimes sports can really divide divide people a good bit. I mean, you look at some of the fans in some parts of the country, especially they could get pretty rowdy or pretty divided.
Definitely.
I certainly know growing up being New York Giants fans, my parents always said you cannot say the word hate unless you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. So division, right? But no, your point's well taken. Is that people are coming together? It's like music. People are coming together to enjoy an occasion, as opposed to getting cutthroat over issues of the day or trying to one up one another in that sort of way. And I agree. I mean, that's the reason why I would like to see not the return of sports not involve politics. I expect it's going to happen with the NFL. We already know that players and even coaches now have expressed that they are going to do kneeling on the field. I hope other sports don't follow suit, not simply because of the political stance and that debate in and of itself, but the ideas we're talking about of not bringing politics into the fray. But I'm curious, just one final question as sports proceed. What do you think could be the reaction from fans as they start watching it and they see things are a little different and they're a little quieter and what have you?
I think the reaction is still going to be the same as it always was, because when you're a sports fan, you're always a sports fan, and no matter what the circumstances are, when you see those players fighting for a championship, fighting for that Stanley Cup, for the Lombardi Trophy, everything just comes into place. I think it's going to be really different, especially football. Watching a football game without fans, that is very interesting in itself, because you're going to hear everything. In the trenches, you're going to hear the grunts of the linemen.
That's going to be strange.
The grunts of the linemen, the snaps, the audibles out from Aaron Rodgers, from Drew Brees. You're going to hear it all, and it's going to be, I think, bring a little extra fun to the game.
Nathan Matoush, producer extraordinaire, working the Matoush magic and breaking down what's happening in the world of sports, which is significant to the American way of life and the American economy. Thanks for popping on today, buddy.
I always appreciate the opportunity. It's been fun here at Jimmy at the Crossroads.
Once again, Nathan Matoush, working the Matoush magic, joining us here on Jimmy at the Crossroads. You just watched a clip from Jimmy at the Crossroads. Don't miss more engaging, intelligent talk. Subscribe to the Jimmy at the Crossroads YouTube channel today. You want to catch our live show. And I love your support.
I got Jimmy at the Crossroads, making sense out of no sense. Yeah.